Okay, so this is my guided reading group, Group Reds, and today we are going to start reading a short story titled Spring Fever. Spring Fever. Okay, and these are my learners: Jesus, Rihanna, and Omar. Jordan is in the session, but he's supposed to go to a breakout room here shortly, so he is not part of the group. And today, reading Spring Fever, we are going to work on the comprehension focus for Five Finger Retail, okay? And as we get going, I'll kind of go through what Five Finger Retail is and how we're going to apply it to this story, okay? Thumbs up, we good so far? You can hear me? Thumbs up, there we go, all right. So, Spring Fever is a story about a boy who gets caught throwing a wad of paper in the school lunchroom. Let's read about all the funny things that happen next, okay? So before we get started with the story or go over the comprehension focus, there are some words that are going to come up in the reading today that may be new to you, right? There may be some words that you don't know what they mean. So I have 3 words here, and I'm going to try to connect them to your guys' lives and the story so that you have a better understanding of your reading, okay? So our first word that we are going to go over is, let me share my screen so you guys can see it. Okay, so the first word that we're going to go over is crumpled. Crumpled. And crumpled means to press or squeeze something that it is no longer flat or smooth. Okay? Now, I know Jesus, being in my reading class last year, likes to crumple up. He crumpled up his paper and would try to throw it and make it into the trash can like a basketball shot, right? In the story, okay, Andrew is one of the characters, and he crumples up his aluminum foil and throws it in the direction of Harmony, okay? So, before we move on, Rihanna, what does the word crumpled mean?
It means when or squeeze.
Very good. Okay. So I know it's a little robot soundy, but sometimes the internet for our learners isn't at its peak. And so in order to help with that, there are some technological pieces that we use, such as Padlet and the chat, to kind of help with sharing out and checking for understanding and things like that. Okay, so our next word is frilly. Frilly. And frilly means having wavy edges, right? Frilling means having wavy edges. So sometimes on certain shirts, right, the sleeves are frilly, right? If you don't want them super tight around your arms, you may have frilly edges so they're not as tight. And in the story, Harmony is wearing a shirt or a blouse that has frilly sleeves. Okay? So, Jesus, what does the word frilly mean? Yeah.
Having wavy edges.
There you go. So remember, it's not stuck to your arm, right? It's frilly, so it's loose. Very good. Okay, and our last word is shriek. Shriek. And shriek means to make a loud, high-pitched cry or sound. So, Jesus, you're a big soccer fan, right? Whenever your team scores a goal, you probably get loud and scream and jump up and down, right? That sound that you make would be considered a shriek, a shriek. And in the story, whenever Harmony gets hit by the aluminum foil, she shrieks. She makes a loud, high-pitched sound. Okay? Omar, what does the word shriek mean? Okay, I got the gist of that. I heard high pitched. Okay, so right off the bat, we know some of our internet is lagging, so we'll definitely be using Padlet as our source for checking for understanding. Okay, so we have our vocabulary words done. Those are in the first few pages that we'll get through today, so you will see those. And we are going to jump into the strategy, okay? The strategy of the 5-finger retell. So let me go ahead and I will share my screen again. Okay, I will drop this Padlet. I'll drop the link in the chat, okay? You will click on it, and then you will go and you can copy my slide, my Padlet, and then just fill it in. So before we've worked on who, what, why, and you had certain pages, right, that you were supposed to fill out the who, what, and why for. For this, right, you're just writing as they come up. So you may get the characters, setting, and problem all on one page, right? You'll have to fill it out as you read, okay? So as you're reading, if a character comes up, right, just write their name down. You're not writing complete sentences here. You're just writing 1 or 2 words so that whenever we do get our writing piece, you know exactly, or you have the notes and the basis for our writing piece, okay? So go ahead. I will put this Padlet in the chat. Before I do that, though, I'm just going to kind of model how a 5-finger retell works. So for Goldilocks and the 3 Bears, right? We've all heard that story. We have read that book. And so for a 5-finger retell for that story, the characters would be Goldilocks, Mama Bear, Papa Bear, and Baby Bear, right? Those are the characters in the story. The setting would be at the bear's house, right? The bear's house. The problem would be that Goldilocks comes into the house and starts eating the food, sits in their chairs, and then ends up falling asleep in one of the beds, right? The events that take place, Goldilocks does all of those things. The bears come back. They find out that someone had eaten their food, that someone had sat in their chairs, and that someone was asleep in Baby Bear's bed, right? And then the ending would be the bears finding Goldilocks in Baby Bear's bed and Goldilocks hopping out the window and going home. Okay? So that's kind of how a model for a 5-finger retell and how you will kind of implement it in the story that we are reading today, Spring Fever. Okay? Thumbs up. Were you able to comprehend that? Are there any questions before we get started? No? Okay. So I'm going to put the Padlet in the chat. Make sure that whenever you make your Padlet, make sure your name is at the top. Make sure that we are capitalizing our names. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to put it in the chat. Let's stop sharing. Rihanna, don't worry about what pages we're going to read today. We're just going to read for a set time, okay? So where you stop, because we're going to continue this for the next few days. All right, so the Padlet link is in the chat. Go ahead and click on that. Go ahead and make your Padlet. Remember, just copy and paste mine, and then you're going to fill it in as you are reading. Okay, so let's get the Padlet done first, and then we will start reading. Also, make sure you have your notebook right next to you. Make sure you have a notebook and a pencil right next to you. All right, let's check the Padlet. Okay, Rihanna, I see you. You are on the Padlet. Remember, you are filling out the Padlet as you are reading. So if you come across a character on the first page, go ahead and write their name down under characters. Jesus, make sure your name is capitalized, please. There you go. Good. Rihanna is all ready to go. Rihanna, do you have your book open? Okay, make sure your book, you are on the Literacy Footprints website and your story is open. And as you are reading and filling out your Padlet, okay, remember I'm going to ask you to lower your volume. Don't do it just yet, but I'll ask you to lower your volume, and then I'll hold up your name card whenever I want you to share some of your reading, okay? Or I'll ask some questions about your reading, and then you'll share your responses, okay? All right, Omar and Jesus, have you copied the... What was that, Jesus?
What pages are we reading? When do we stop?
Today, we're not reading a set number of pages, okay? We're just going to read for time. So you'll just stop whenever I stop the time.
Okay.
Okay? Good question. Okay, Omar's filling his out. His is almost done. Jesus, I still don't see your Padlet being filled out. Okay, Omar's ready to go. Okay. So once Jesus is done, let's go ahead and you may lower your volumes now and just go ahead and start reading. Whenever I want you to come off of mute and raise your volume, I will hold up, right, your signs. So Jesus for this one, right? All right, perfect. Go ahead and start your reading. Go ahead and start your reading. Remember, filling out the Padlet as you go with just 1 or 2 words. Okay, you're not writing complete sentences. So what I am doing right now is I am giving the learners time to start reading their story, and maybe write down one or two of the characters on the Padlet before I start asking them about their reading. They obviously haven't started yet, so there is no point in me checking for understanding yet and asking certain questions related to the reading. So I'll give them 1 or 2 minutes to go ahead and start and get through maybe a page, page and a half, and then I will start asking them certain questions related to the reading. All right, so there's the Padlet. Everyone's is filled out. Now let's go back here. Get a drink. I'll give them another 30 to 45 seconds before I start asking them the comprehension questions. And the way that I've found best to do this, to call on the learners, being that we are distance learning and I'm not able to have them at the kidney table that in my room, is by holding up name cards so that they know that I am asking them for them to respond and not asking for the entire group to respond. All right, so here we go. It's kind of hard too with my background. Here, let's take this off. Okay, so the background is gone, so now it'll be easier to ask. Jordan, put him in the breakout room. So my other learners that are not in this group at this moment are in a breakout room working on their own independent work. All right. So let's have Rihanna.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Rihanna. So you started reading the story. Can you, what did you just read? Explain what you just read.
Okay, I think give me that. Right now, I just read the first page. It was about Eric and it was about Andrew and his friend. They were talking about how they're at the lunch and then the cafeteria and how Andrew can't throw a straight ball and that he's gonna try hitting it right now into the garbage can or garbage thing.
Okay. Did you hear or see some characters' names pop up?
All I seen was Andrew and his friend Eric.
Okay. So go ahead and add them to your Padlet. So good job so far. You did a very good job retelling there. Good job. You can go back on mute. I'd say the hardest thing to do with my guided reading groups so far has been the sharing out orally, be it internet problems or kids being a little bit more, at least in middle school, being a little more shy around their peers online. I found definitely is a big issue. So Rihanna did a good job there. All right, let's go to Jesus next. All right, Jesus, were you able to locate any characters on the first page?
It was Ernie and Andrew and his friend Ernie.
Okay, yeah, very good. And what were Ernie and Andrew doing?
They were after lunch. They were gonna go play football, and they were practicing how to throw the ball inside the cafeteria.
Do you think it's a good idea to practice throwing the ball inside the cafeteria?
Because once I did, then I got in trouble.
Exactly, right? It's not a good thing. So as you keep reading, I'm sure there'll be something that pops up that happens that isn't all that great. All right, good job, Jesus. You may mute. All right. Oh, that's a good one. All right, let's get Omar in on the action. Actually, let me check their Padlets first. Andrew and Ernie. Hey, Cafeteria and Field. Good job, Omar. All right, so Omar should have a lot to share. Very good. All right, Omar. I see you're filling out your Padlet. You're doing a very good job. Keep it up. So, what motivated Andrew to throw the ball, to throw the aluminum foil? What happened?
They planned to die in the garbage barrel.
Did Andrew just do it because he wanted to, or did something happen to where he was like, oh, I got to do this now? What did Ernie do? Right? Ernie was like, hey, I bet you don't know how to throw this ball straight, right? I bet you can't do it. Have you ever had a moment when someone was like, hey, you can't do this, but you want to prove them wrong and show them that you can? Right? It happens to all of us, right? We have our doubters and things like that we want to prove wrong. So good job on your Padlet so far. I really like how you put down the characters and the setting because they both have already popped up in the story. So good job. Keep going, okay? Okay, so what I'll do now is I'll give them a few more minutes to continue their reading and fill out their Padlets. I think we have 2 more minutes. And then I will put Omar and Jesus into a breakout room and then have Rihanna stick with me. And we're just going to partner talk and partner discuss about their Padlets that they filled out. So their characters, if they found the setting or not, how were they able to locate the setting in the text and things like that before I bring them back for the ending. So let's check out their Padlets. Okay, so we already have Omar putting down, throwing the ball. Good. Jesus has that as the problem, which could be the problem in what he's reading right now, but will not be the problem here at the end, really. I mean, maybe actually. And then Rihanna has the character and setting. Okay. Omar. Jesus. Andrew. So now I'm telling them to turn their volume up in the chat, so now that they can hear me. Okay, so their volumes are up. Okay, so very good job so far. What we're going to do now is I'm going to put Omar and Jesus into a breakout room, okay? And you're just going to share the information that you put on your Padlets, okay? Just going to share the information you put on your Padlets. Rihanna, you're going to stay with me and we're going to kind of go over it, okay? It's only going to be 1 or 2 minutes, so just share what is on your Padlets. I may not be able to, actually. Okay, never mind. I am not going to be able to, because I already have assigned mine. Okay. So, we're going to skip that, okay? We're going to skip that because I'm unable to put you guys into breakout rooms because I already have a breakout room session going. So, look at the Padlets of your other classmates. So Jesus, look at Rihanna's and Omar's. Rihanna, look at Jesus's and Omar's. And then Omar, look at Rihanna and Jesus's. And just kind of see what they wrote. Okay, I know some of our internet is lagging, so sharing out probably isn't going to work best right now. But just so you can kind of see, am I understanding what I am reading? If I was able to collaborate in this moment, would I have something similar to my classmate or my partner? Would I have something different? Okay, so I'll give you a couple, like 30 seconds to go ahead and read over everyone's Padlet. I wish that wouldn't have happened. Zoom just had an update where you're supposed to be able to add breakout rooms. So it may be because it's already open. I already have a breakout room open, that it wouldn't allow me to do that. At least with the Padlet, they're able to see what their other classmates wrote. Okay, now that you have read and seen your classmates' answers, I'm going to share my screen real fast. You need to get your notebook, right? Get your notebook that you have next to you and your pencil, okay? And on one of the pages, okay, you're going to make a T-chart that looks just like this, okay? And on the left side, you're going to have the word. And on the right side, there, it's hard to write on this. You're going to have the definition, okay? The word and the definition. So I'm just going to pick 2 of our vocabulary words that we went over earlier and have you guys kind of share out to me what the definition is. So one of the words that we went over earlier was crumpled. Rihanna, what does crumpled mean?
Crumble means when you. Can I give an example instead?
You can.
Do you want me to say the definition or can I say the example?
Say the definition. Revert to the story. What happened in the story?
Andrew crumbled the foil.
Okay, so what did he do if he crumpled it? right? Yeah. Very good. So you have the word on this side and the definition on this side, right? Right? He made a ball, right, from the aluminum foil. Very good. Make sure that is in your notebook, right? We're going to use these words in our writing once we are done with our story, right? We're going to have to use crumpled in a sentence that involves the story. Okay? And then another word that we are going to be writing down is shriek. Shriek. And Jesus, what did shriek mean? Shriek. Shriek. Omar, can you help him out?
Was it the one that says that a loud noise?
Yes.
Loud.
Yep. Good job. Remember, it was a loud noise. Very good, Omar. Okay. So make sure you have those words in your notebook because we will come back to those here early next week as we are finishing up this story. Okay? I'll leave it up for another 15, 20 seconds, let you guys write it down. And then we will be done. Okay, you got it, Omar? Whenever you have them down, put a thumbs up. All right, so we're all good. Okay, so give me a sec. I'll bring everyone back in, and then we will go into some guided math. Okay? Okay, so that is the end of my guided reading lesson.